Kuro is kind of giving an answer to that, but basically, fun fact, Geralt and Geralt are the same thing. Geralt is Geralt, but in Polish. Like, that's how you pronounce that name in Polish, if I'm not mistaken. That's why, for example, The Witcher, the Polish version of The Witcher, he's Geralt of Rivia, not Geralt of Rivia. So same thing, same thing. It's all good. I guess because I've casted with Kuro before, I say Geralt, I say Ziomek as well. That's how you say Ziomek or Ziomek in, I guess, English, but in Polish it's Ziomek, for example. Or Papi, the other Polish Protoss player. But here we go. We are diving into our next series, our next PvP, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressvan, we have the German Protoss player representing Berlin International Gaming. Big. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh. And we are here back once again in Gressvan. If you recall, Gressvan was also the game that took place in Game 1, the map that took place in Game 1, between both Skillus and Geralt. Now we are here. Oh, never mind. We also have Geralt as a name. Oh, then I don't know why we have both. I don't know both. I don't know why both exist then. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. Oh, you have to play Wild Hunt. There you go. There you go. Wait, hold on. Does that mean, if I'm not mistaken, does that mean that if in Polish it's Geralt, so in English they just changed the name instead of translating the name? I guess that would make sense because Geralt isn't a name in English, I guess? Question mark? I don't know. If we have any Witcher lore aficionados, let us know. Let us know. Likewise, I need to get around to, maybe I shouldn't, mixed things have been said about it, but see, we never watched season 2. Never watched season 2 of The Witcher. Only season 1. And I never finished Witcher 3 either. Smooch. StarCraft, it just takes up so much. So much time, so much space. Feels bad, man. As we have a mirrored opener so far, we do have double adept here from both ShoWTimE and Krystianer. ShoWTimE's going to be delaying his expansion here, going for that Stargate opener instead. So interesting here. Playing with his reputation a little bit, we have a very aggressive opener from ShoWTimE. Oh boy. We have 2 more adepts behind us, and that means we can even go up to 2 more as well, a 5th and 6th adept. Not like this. Oracles are moving out as well, so we'll see if Krystianer can keep up with this. Back at home, he's going for a faster Nexus. Also, likewise, goes for an abundance of adepts. We'll see if he's able to keep up here with ShoWTimE, or if the adepts actually do miss each other. It looks like they will. Uh-oh. That was really cool. I appreciate that. As the adepts of Krystianer should be recognizing how late this Nexus is compared to his own. He's going to be threatening a shade in towards the main base. Because we have 4 adepts, we can DPS down this pylon. It will eventually fall, and the Oracle is forced to spend its energy back at home defensively instead. Meanwhile, across the map, likewise, ShoWTimE also trying to bore through that wall. ShoWTimE holds. Krystianer barely does not, as the adepts do manage to shade in. Uh-oh. And ShoWTimE is going to commit. He's going to try and focus on as many of these probes as he can. 2 probes already falling, 3, soon to be 4. At the same time, Krystianer also dives in. Oh, but he's been bleeding out some of these adepts, and they will all get picked off. Only 2 probes, as opposed to ShoWTimE, who gets 7 across the map. To be fair, ShoWTimE did have to do more damage, just because his Nexus was later than his opponent's. But with that economic damage done, ShoWTimE has a very nice lead for himself. But it's not over. Krystianer still has his oracles as well, as he went for a bit of a later Stargate. It's a bit of a later Stargate. Now the Oracles are soon to be hitting here. 2 Oracles for ShoWTimE. They one-shot probes, and 3 probes do go down. Likewise, Krystianer across the map also going to be going for his own counter damage. We don't have any shield batteries here, but we do have Stalkers in position. How much can Krystianer help make up for what he's been losing? He's going to try to. But for the most part, ShoWTimE does minimize his losses, does push away those Oracles. Blink now on the way as well. It does feel like ShoWTimE is just barely ahead of Krystianer here. Like, he dealt more economic damage, he did more with his Oracles. He has a faster Twilight Council, faster Blink. It does feel like Krystianer is just a step behind, and as I say that, even more damage is done. And Krystianer, he can't afford these losses as 3 more probes fall. Yeah, as the Stalker does get picked off, and oh boy, as a result, yeah, ShoWTimE is just going to be able to get a faster third base. He's going to he's just straight up in a better position here. The pressure is going to be on Krystianer to try to come back in this game. Things aren't too dire though. Like, you know, the economic advantage that ShoWTimE has isn't massive, but yeah, there we go. I was going to say either rushing into something like Disruptors or DTs would make sense here for Krystianer, and there we go. The Dark Shrine is thrown down. At this level of play, like, any advantage is, you know, something that's so difficult to overcome, just playing straight up and just trying to keep up with your opponent. So yeah, trying to sneak out these DTs does make plenty of sense for Krystianer as ShoWTimE pushes on forward. Stasis traps are thrown down. He's going to be looking to threaten this third base as well. Doesn't quite have the Stalker count to do so. Not yet anyway, as he does back off. He's waiting to consolidate his army before he does bounce on back. And more importantly, we'll see if ShoWTimE can slip into the main base. If he can get eyes on this Dark Shrine, that's going to be disastrous. Regardless, he has Blink. He's going to go into the main. Uh-oh. He's not just going to scout the Dark Shrine. He can also snipe it if he chooses to. So here we go. We do Blink on forward. We dive into the main base. Krystianer completely out of position. Boys are being pulled. The Dark Shrine has been spotted. And ShoWTimE is going to be getting ready back at home. DTs are being morphed in as we speak. But ShoWTimE is getting out of control. The boys are being pulled, which is something you never want to see. We can always recall as well. We can make use of this stasis trap to take a fight. Oof. Only one Stalker will be stasis at the same time. DTs don't get any damage across the map. GG gets called, and ShoWTimE takes game number 1. Oh, GG. Again, really solid stuff out of ShoWTimE. Really unexpected as well. I do know that at least in some of the other matchups against Zerg specifically, ShoWTimE is known for his defensive play, for his more passive style. But here in PvP, he was the aggressor. He did a great job at just slowing down the economy of Krystianer enough to, you know, force a little bit of desperation out of him, and yeah, just really solid play out of ShoWTimE. Really well done, as he does have a lead in this series. Going to game number 2. Here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the German Brodos player representing Berlin International Gaming. BIG. We have the Blue Protoss leading this series 1-0, one game away from making it into the next round to face off against Skilless. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player struggling a little bit there in game number 1, looking to bounce back, representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. Go. Once again, 2 gate openers are going to be coming out from our players. We saw how aggressive ShoWTimE was in game 1. We'll see if he keeps that up. We'll see if Krystianer is able to reciprocate as well, if he's able to likewise change up his style as well. I'm curious because we're on Ancient Cistern, of course, a much larger map, one of the largest maps in the map pool. It can lend and it can favor proxy play, or proxy tech, if you will, just because of how large it is and how difficult it is to scout. So I'm curious if that is going to come into play as we have ShoWTimE going in for a probe scout, getting an eye on everything, confirming the pylons, confirming the gateways. Likewise, Krystianer sneaking out a probe here. Oh, potentially could be going for a bit of a proxy, and there is that second pylon. Now, ShoWTimE is fully aware that the second pylon is missing. As you can see, ShoWTimE has the second pylon in his main, so this could be for a fake proxy or a real one. That's the scary thing about PvP, is that quite often Protoss players will just throw down their second pylon out of the map just for mind games, just to be in the mind of their opponent. So ShoWTimE doesn't have confirmation yet, but, you know, it is definitely suspicious. Meanwhile, Krystianer going for his probe scout across, or just quickly checking across the map, confirming that it wasn't a fast nexus by his opponents. And ideally should be looking to check what the first units are going to be. Once again, ShoWTimE going for a faster Stargate. This is exactly the same opener he went for in game number 1. Going for his Adepts. Likewise, this was just a fake pseudo-proxy pylon here from Krystianer. He doesn't commit to any kind of tech. No Robo, no Stargate. So it is just for mind games. Ooh, the probe does get hunted down. That's dangerous. With the death of that probe, obviously, Krystianer, he knows about the first 2 Adepts. He doesn't know about the 3rd and 4th Adept. Up! Up! Oh my god. And it looks like ShoWTimE is going to come out ahead in this trade. Krystianer, he knows ShoWTimE did shoot first, and Krystianer is going to have to back off, is going to have to respect that Adept of ShoWTimE. So we have more Adepts racing across the map again. Krystianer is unaware of them, also unaware of whether there's an expansion or not. Back at home, we have a couple of sentries here for hallucinations. We're going for a faster Twilight Council, not a Stargate for Krystianer. And we'll see how this all does unfold. Adept's going to be shading and confirming that the Nexus is late. But a late Nexus, this could be for a faster Twilight Council, could be for a Stargate as well. Krystianer is going to be kept guessing. Oh, the pylon up is going to come across that Oracle. At the same time, the Adepts do shade in. The wall was not a wall. I love the hallucinations here. They do create a wall here for Krystianer. But the damage has been done, and the Oracle comes in for even more probe damage. Oh no. As those Adepts, they got more than just 5 probes, by the way. The Adepts also killed the sentries. That's why the hallucinations were thrown down. The sentries, in a panic, they just did whatever they could in that moment. And Krystianer, he's in a lot of trouble. It's not good, Papi. It's not good. The Adepts, they shaded once again. Getting even more probe damage done, and this is getting out of control. This is becoming an unacceptable amount of damage. The Oracles, they dive back in, they get a couple more workers. We do have Krystianer across the map trying to do whatever he can. But ShoWTimE, recognizing that, of course, he didn't have enough to protect his 2 bases, he does go for a bit of a later saturation. Mainides his workers over. Now ShoWTimE has a massive worker lead. Massive economic lead. Some lost fighting time. Oh. The Adept doesn't even get a probe from your ShoWTimE. I appreciate as well that he's focusing on his Immortal. I think this is very necessary. So Krystianer, his one advantage is Blink. Because of his faster Twilight Council, he will have a faster Blink timing. He can even go into a 2-base Blink Stalker all-in as well, if he so chooses. So to help make up for that, ShoWTimE recognizes that he knows, he knows he's going to have a weaker army. His Stalkers are straight up going to be worse than his opponents. So Immortals will help make up for that. We have our first Immortal. We should be having a second and even a third behind this as well. So ShoWTimE is just making up for the one disadvantage that he has in this game. And eventually he'll catch up. He now has his own Twilight Council. He can either work towards Blink, or he can skip Blink if he wants to and go straight into Charge instead. But with this third base on the way, he's not going for an all-in. Yes, it's gonna be Blink instead. Now Krystianer still has a window. He still has a timing. ShoWTimE, he goes for a scout. He confirms. Still only 2 gateways here for his opponents, and a third base as well. So ShoWTimE knows that his opponent isn't going all in. But Krystianer can still outmaneuver the army of ShoWTimE. He can maybe bypass, get some high ground vision, blink into the main base, for example, and avoid those immortals. Oh, but the observer ShoWTimE does catch the army. Yeah, he pulls back to the safety of that stasis trap. Uh-oh. The shields do get triggered on the first immortal, and Krystianer, he just ignores the army. He just goes straight to the main base. Takes down an Artosis pylon. Links down towards the third, and here he can maybe even deny the third. Which would be a huge pickup. At the same time, the oracles across the map are just wreaking havoc. 8 probes go down. Oof, and that's a kill, not a cancel on the third base. ShoWTimE still has an economic advantage, but it's not as large as it once was. Losing that Nexus was pretty big, and again, really nice moves here from Krystianer. He needs to do this, he needs to get some damage done. As rough as it sounds, he needs a little bit more as well. Only losing some of these Stalkers forces a recall. Krystianer, he flirts with the idea of pushing in again, but no, he doesn't want to throw away his army. Now with triple probe production, Krystianer, he can now take an economic lead. He's working on his own immortals. This time the Stalkers are in position to defend against the Oracles. He's catching up. But with this move out from ShoWTimE, this is going to hit quite hard actually. Gateways are repowered, more gateways are on the way. Krystianer, did he poke the bear? Sure, he killed the third, but now he's forcing a counterattack. Oh boy. And ShoWTimE, those immortals that we saw earlier, are now being used offensively. With the power of 3 immortals, even though Krystianer has a higher Stalker count, it may not matter. As ShoWTimE is pushing through into the natural base. The army blinks on forward. Krystianer, he's diving on top of every single one of these immortals. He does get 2 of them. But only 2. The damage was insane. And ShoWTimE can keep on pushing. Oh no, a massive stasis trap goes off. Not now. This is not what Krystianer needed. GG gets called. And ShoWTimE takes game number 2, taking the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. A really strong showing from ShoWTimE in both game 1 and game 2. Krystianer, he had some nice moves here in game 2. Like, he was able to outmaneuver ShoWTimE and snipe that third as well, get some damage done. It was some really good moves out of him. After that though, he just had to defend, he just had to hold on, and unfortunately he wasn't quite ready for the counterattack. We needed more shield batteries, needed just a better defensive position overall. Better care of our own immortals as well, and time would have been on Krystianer's side, but alas, he just barely couldn't hold on. That counterattack was just so powerful from ShoWTimE with all those immortals. GG, well played. He advances on to that qualifying match that we mentioned earlier. Skillous has been patiently waiting for the winner of this series. Here we go. Skillous versus ShoWTimE is upon us, and something that we saw is that both Skillous and ShoWTimE, they looked pretty dominant over their opponents, over both Geralt and Krystianer. But how will they compare to each other? I'm ready for it, Bappy. I'm ready for it.